Kainundrum. Get your Kaibots ready. The tournament.
In today's video, we're going to be looking at the game editor inside Kainundrum.com. I'll show you how to design your own levels, challenges, mazes, or escape rooms, and how you can share them with your friends and see if they are able to solve the levels that you've built. Let's get right into the Kainundrum. First up, we want to go into Projects on the bottom right hamburger menu. Click on My Projects, create a new project. Once you create a new project, it will load. What I'm going to do is minimize my coding view because I don't need that at the moment, and maximize my 3D view. You can see I'm in a waiting room. Click the left-hand side panel. This indicates the game mode of the current project. Click the hammer icon to open up the game editor. First, choose from either free roam or maze race game types. First, I'm going to delete all my tiles by clicking the bin icon. Tiles are the A grid pattern. Where you see a blue adjacent cell, that means I can click and place a tile there. You cannot create tiles in gray areas. You cannot have two separate rooms, everything has to be connected. You can use Kainundrum with or without physical Kaibots, but if you do have the physical Kaibot, make sure you've got the same matching tiles numbers. You can purchase up to 60 physical tiles. Okay, I have created 3 rooms. Next up is the wall editor to create your maze. You can click to automatically generate you a maze, or you can add walls manually. You can choose the color of walls as well. If you do auto-generate, it will delete your previous walls. Next up is our painting mode, to color each tile. I might want to color each room or zone a different color. You can just click on the tiles and fill in the colors. Next is the paintbrush. Adjust the size of the paintbrush and draw hints for your escape game or whatever you like. Here is a text box that you might want to tell players about a particular challenge. Next up is our object editor. All objects placed are uniquely numbered and most importantly can be called using Blockly code. To place an object into your level, simply just drag it. There are quite a few different objects here and we're going to go through each one. Checkpoints. Are these little map markers? You can place them anywhere you like, but the player must drive through them in numeric order and the player cannot finish the level without tagging all the checkpoints in sequence. Next are push crates. You can change the color of them. You can change its state from locked or movable. Let's add a gate. I'm going to pop that down over here. The player cannot get through the gate until we do some kind of action, and we will define that later. There's a gate too. We might choose to set the gate open on the start of the game and close it later. Now I'm going to put down a laser. A laser shoots out a laser beam of light and you can drive through it. It has no effect on Kaibot, because robots are strong. I'm going to direct the laser around the room, and you do this using mirrors. I can change the angle of deflection with a mirror object. You could have multiple mirrors all over the game, passing through open gates, and when a gate is open the laser will shoot through and do something like pop a balloon. We're going to put a couple of balloon objects down, so you can direct these lasers to pop them. Lasers and mirrors can be made movable. So that means that you have to pick up a mirror and align it for it to be able to pop a balloon. So that makes it quite challenging for the player to angle the mirrors in the right direction. So I've put a couple of balloons down. I'll put a movable cube in the path of the laser, so the balloons don't pop at the start of the game. The player will need to push the crate out of the way in order to pop the balloon. So next up, and little oil spill that'll spin the player around. That's easy enough to do. Let's add some Kai coins for the player to collect around the game, a great way to entice a player down the wrong path of your maze. Players don't have to collect them. Lastly, we have a switch object. Switches are great to trigger a certain event, and we're going to now add object events. Events are conditions that happen when, say, you drive through or an object passes through, say, a laser beam, or you activate a switch. With each event there can be a trigger. For example, pop a balloon and close a gate. A switch can get triggered when a player or an object goes over it, or when a player or object leaves the switch. E.g., a switch might always need to be down to have a gate open, and as soon as you leave the switch the gate closes. The player would then have to use a cube on the switch to keep the gate open in order to escape. Events and triggers are a great way to think how your escape or maze will challenge your player. In our level we have to push that crate out of the way for the laser to bounce off those mirrors in order to pop the balloon. Now let's create the logic for our events. Every object has its own unique object name in the editor, and we're going to use these object names to then connect events with triggers. So if switch 1 is pushed, then open gate 2 for instance. If I use my mouse wheel, I can zoom in or out of the actual events, but if I use zoom icon at the bottom left, I can zoom into the background level. It gets very busy here, so I suggest as you are learning just keep it really simple to start. When you do click on an event, it highlights the object, the level. We could say when the laser is triggered, open the gate, but let's make it more challenging. Let's make it when the player pops the balloon. We want to open gate 1. You can see, we could also close the gate or toggle the gate. Or if the gate was open, then it would close. Theirs is also toggle the gate or only open the gate for 5 seconds. You can make your game as challenging as you like, but just try to keep your first game designs simple, so that even you can solve them yourself. It takes a lot of prototyping and going back and forwards to get your level perfect. Try and understand your logic around what things have to happen. This is a great experience for the students to prototype and test again, their own games before they give them to their friends to play. Our last event is switch 1 object, and we'll get that to open gate 2. I suggest moving your events and triggers next to each other. We are just about finished. This is the overall game settings. This is the max game duration and game start countdown. When having your players try to escape a maze, I suggest turning of the player's 2D top-down view, otherwise it's very easy for the player to see a way out of your maze. Finally, scroll down and add a description or give your player some hints on what your game objective is. It makes great practice to go back and forth to review your design, your objects and events a few times. Now we are ready to start and test our game. If you are ready for your friends to test your game, click the hamburger menu on the bottom right and share out your game code and let your friends give it a go. In the game, I can use my mouse to move around, get a different angle of Kaibot. I can switch views between first-person view and third-person. Did you notice how top-down view is disabled? Our first objective is to pop those balloons in order to open the gate. I'm going to drive around to the other side, so we can see the balloons pop. Here's a checkpoint flag, we must tap it. Let's shove these two cubes out of the laser's path. Keep your eye on the balloons. As I'm pushing through the cubes and my robot is also blocking the laser. Let me move backwards, there we go, and we've popped the balloons and we've opened the gate. I managed to miss that oil slick. I'll drive over it, you can see the virtual robot spinning. This is first-person view, this is third-person view. There's the second checkpoint, we have to tap them in sequence. If we don't, we will not be able to complete the game. We are doing this with absolutely no code, we could have also solved this using code with Blockly. There are special sensing blocks for detecting objects, color of objects, distance to objects, etc. Now I'm finished. You can see my huge coding score of 1 point and how long I took to finish the game. So if you're happy with your game that you've designed, you can share it with your friends using the URL or the QR code and see if they can solve your challenge. I hope you enjoy the Kainundrum and share your games with us. We would love to see if we could solve them.
The tournament is about to begin.